Sometimes, I find myself wishing I had never been born. Yet, at other moments, I draw strength from a well-known quote, "Once there's life, there's hope." I hold on to hope because I believe there's a reason I survived those years of pain and hardship. I am here to share my story as a survivor of gender-based violence, not just for myself but for all the girls and women who have endured similar trauma. I was born into a world of abuse and struggle. My mother, a bright teenage girl with dreams of her own, found her life turned upside down when she became pregnant while still in school. My father, the man responsible, never married her. When her parents discovered what had happened, they reacted with anger and disappointment. In their strictness, they pushed her out of the home, leaving her to fend for herself in a world that seemed so unforgiving. Desperate and alone, my mother had no one to turn to. Her friends and family abandoned her in her time of need. With nowhere else to go, she ended up in the house of the man who had caused her so much pain, my father. Her story, however, wasn't just one of youthful mistakes. It goes deeper than that. My father was an electrician. One day, he was called to my mother's home to fix a problem, a routine job that should have ended like any other. But on that day, everything changed. My grandfather, who usually kept an eye on the workers, had to leave the house in a hurry. He asked my mother to stay behind and make sure everything was done before the electrician left. It was a sad day for my mother, who was then 16 years. My grandfather's departure provided the opportunity the electrician needed to carry out a beastly act. He forced himself on her and raped her. She tried to shout, but he covered her mouth so no one could hear her voice until he was done with the dastardly act. After he was done, he threatened to kill her if she ever told anyone. My mom was left shaken and frightened. She could not tell anyone that she was raped by the electrician. She got pregnant from that encounter, and as I mentioned in the beginning, this led her to move into the rapist's house where she gave birth to a girl, and that happened to be me. Growing up, my childhood was anything fun but full of sorrow. Love, kindness, and attention, those were things I never experienced. Looking back, I often felt like my parents saw me as a constant reminder of their mistakes and struggles. The atmosphere in my home was always tense, filled with sadness and resentment. I was left to fend for myself, missing out on the nurturing environment every child needs to thrive. My early school years passed without much to remember. I kept to myself, afraid of being ridiculed if others found out that I was an unwanted child. When I finished primary school and moved on to government secondary school, I thought maybe things would finally change for me. Maybe this is where I'll find a sense of belonging, I hoped. But life had other plans. My first year of secondary school was tough. The workload felt overwhelming, and adjusting to new teachers was difficult. I struggled academically, and being introverted didn't help. But during my second year, something shifted. I began to receive attention, not from my peers, but from the school's gatemen, Mr. Alex and Mr. Sammy. They noticed me when no one else did, offering compliments and kind words, something I had longed for my whole life. In my loneliness, I started stopping by to chat with them before and after school. I wasn't in a rush to go home, there was nothing to look forward to. My mother was a petty trader, constantly away, and my father was often drunk, their fights filling the nights with chaos. Over time, I became used to their absence and the bitterness that filled my home. In the second term of my second year, one of the gatemen asked me to tell them about myself. I quickly shared my story, thinking I had a confidant, not knowing I would be taken advantage of. Mr. Alex would ask me to wait a little longer after school, since there was never a need to rush home. I would oblige. He would buy me food and ask me to eat and relax in the security room. The unexpected happened at age 12. I was relaxing in the security room as usual and did not know when I fell asleep. I woke up when I felt a hand caressing my body. I turned and it was Mr. Alex. I asked him to stop, but he didn't. Instead, he overpowered me, lifted my pinafore, pulled my panties, and raped me. He covered my mouth with his hands as I tried to shout. I struggled with him, but he was too strong for me. A short while later, Mr. Sammy, the second guard, came in and took his turn to rape me. When they finished, they both pleaded with me that it was the devil that took over their conscience. They helped to clean me up and got a bike to take me home. I wept for days, unable to shake off the overwhelming pain and sadness that gripped my heart. My body fell ill, and I could not bring myself to attend school for weeks. My mother, with her usual indifference, bought some malaria drugs from a pharmacy and told me to take them. She never paused to ask what was truly wrong, and when I tried to open up, she brushed me aside, too busy with her business to listen. I was left feeling ashamed, afraid, alone, and utterly worthless. My father was nowhere to be found, lost in his own world of alcohol and neglect. For me, he was as good as dead. When I eventually returned to school, my teachers and classmates noticed how frail and emaciated I had become. Worry clouded their faces, but I kept assuring them that I was fine, even though nothing was further from the truth. Deep inside, I wondered if my upbringing had stripped me of the strength to stand up for myself, to tell anyone about what had happened. But I kept silent, while the weight of shame and fear grew heavier with each passing day. Every time I walked by the school gate, the sight of Mr. Alex and Mr. Sammy brought back the haunting memories. They would beg for my forgiveness, but I had made up my mind to never grant them my presence again.